Listen carefully. The loudest people in the room rarely win. The ones posting, bragging, talking, and announcing every move, they fade. Real winners move in silence. They train when no one is watching. They work when no one is clapping. They build when no one believes. Quiet discipline is the weapon. Loud success is the reward. If you master self-control in private, your results will scream in public. This audiobook will teach you how to become dangerous without making noise. Chapter 1. Stop talking about your goals. Every time you talk about your goals, you weaken them. That's not motivation. That's sabotage. Your brain doesn't know the difference between talking and doing. When you announce your plans, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical you get when you actually succeed. You feel rewarded before you've earned it. That's the trap. You tell someone, "I'm going to start a business." They nod, they praise you, they say, "That's amazing." And your brain says, "Good job." But you haven't done anything, you didn't build, you didn't sacrifice, you didn't struggle, yet you already feel accomplished. That kills hunger, that kills urgency, that kills discipline. You have a choice. Do you want the feeling of success or the reality of it? Because you can't have both. That's the key. People who talk about their goals stay comfortable. People who stay silent get uncomfortable. And discomfort is where growth lives. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. Say it again. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. Pressure forces you to act. Pressure forces you to prove. Pressure forces you to move. When no one knows your plans, you have no escape, no applause, no encouragement, no safety net, just you and the work. That's where real discipline is built. Look at high performers. Top athletes don't announce their training schedules. They don't post every workout. They don't live stream their grind. They disappear. They train. They return better. Champions don't talk. They execute. Same with CEOs. You don't see billionaires tweeting their next move. They don't broadcast their strategies. They don't leak their plans. They move quietly. They dominate loudly. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You need discipline. You have a choice. Announce or advance, talk or transform, brag or build. You can't do both. Most people talk because they want attention. They want someone to say, "Wow, you're so motivated. You're different, you're special." But that's weakness. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. Say it again. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. Every time you seek approval, you hand away your power. You start living for reactions, for likes, for comments. That's not strength, that's slavery. You become addicted to praise. And addicted people never win. You don't need their permission. You don't need their permission. Say it again. You don't need their permission. You don't need permission to wake up early. You don't need permission to work harder. You don't need permission to change your life. Stop asking, start acting. That's the key. Here's the truth. Talking about your goals gives you an excuse to stop. You told people, they clapped, you felt good. Now the fire is gone. That's why so many New Year resolutions fail. People post them, they share them, they announce them, and then they quit because the reward came too early. You don't get rewarded for intention. You get rewarded for execution. Say it again. You don't get rewarded for intention. You get rewarded for execution. Life doesn't care about your plans, it cares about your results. So what do you do instead? You stay silent. You write your goals down privately in a notebook, on your phone, not on social media, not in group chats, not at dinner tables. You make a plan, you create a system, you follow it daily. No announcement, no countdown, no dramatic speeches, just work. That's discipline. You wake up early. Even when tired, you train. Even when sore, you study. Even when bored, no one claps, no one sees. Good, that's power. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. Say it again. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. Pressure makes you consistent. Pressure makes you hungry. Pressure makes you dangerous. Let me ask you something. How many goals have you announced that you never finished? Be honest. Gym memberships, business ideas, books you said you'd write. Skills you said you'd learn, you talked, you felt good, you stopped. You have a choice. Repeat the pattern or break it. That's the key. Breaking it starts with silence. From today, you stop explaining your plans, you stop justifying your dreams, you stop convincing people, because convincing is for the weak. Winners don't convince, they demonstrate. Here's a rule. If you're serious, you'll be silent. If you're loud, you're uncertain. Uncertainty needs reassurance. Confidence needs nothing. Strong people move quietly. Weak people talk loudly. Which one are you? You have a choice. Your mission now is simple. Pick one goal, just one. Don't tell anyone, not your friends, not your family, not even your partner. Keep it sacred. Every day, take one action toward it. Small, boring, unsexy. That's discipline. That's how empires are built. Brick by brick, day by day, in silence. Understand this. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is focus. Silence is commitment. Silence is confidence. You don't talk because you're busy. You don't explain because you're executing. That's the mindset. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. One more time. Silence builds pressure. Pressure creates power. People will notice. They'll say, you've changed. You're different. You disappeared. Good. Disappearance is growth, because while they were watching stories, you were writing history. While they were posting quotes, you were living them. That's the difference. So stop talking. Start doing. Close your mouth. Open your notebook. Write your plan. Follow it. No applause, no announcement, no shortcuts, just discipline. You mastered silence. You learned to stop leaking your power. Now let's talk about what really separates winners from losers. Because silence alone isn't enough. You need consistency, you need systems, you need discipline. Chapter 2: Discipline beats motivation. Every time motivation is a liar. It shows up when life is easy. It disappears when things get hard. That's the truth. You feel motivated after a video, after a quote, after a podcast, and then the alarm rings. The bed feels warm. The world feels heavy. Motivation vanishes. That's why motivation is weak. Discipline is strong. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't ask for permission. Discipline doesn't negotiate. It executes. You have a choice. Follow your feelings or follow your system. That's the key. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is mechanical. Motivation says, I'll do it when I feel ready. Discipline says, I do it because it's time. Big difference. Winners don't wait to feel ready. They move when it's uncomfortable. They move when it's boring. They move when it's painful. Because progress doesn't care about your mood. Say it again. Progress doesn't care about your mood. Life doesn't reward emotion. Life rewards action. Let me give you a simple example. Do you feel motivated to brush your teeth every day? No, you don't wake up excited like, yes, time to brush my teeth. You just do it. Why? Because it's a habit. Because it's a system, because it's non-negotiable. That's discipline. You don't think, you don't debate, you execute. Imagine if you waited for motivation to brush your teeth. You'd lose your teeth. Same with success. If you wait to feel motivated to work, to train, to study, to build, you'll lose your future. You have a choice. Wait for feelings or build a system. That's the key. Say this out loud. Feelings don't control winners. Systems do. Again, feelings don't control winners. Systems do. Winners don't wake up and ask, how do I feel today? They ask, what needs to be done? Big difference. Losers obey emotions. Winners obey schedules. Which one are you? You have a choice. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation is hype. Discipline is structure. Motivation fades. Discipline remains. That's why disciplined people always win in the long run. They don't rely on excitement. They rely on routine. Routine beats talent. Routine beats luck. Routine beats motivation. Say it again. Routine beats motivation. Here's what most people do. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel strong. And while they wait, years pass. Opportunities disappear. Dreams die. That's the cost of waiting. You don't need their permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. That's the key. Let me be clear. You will not feel motivated every day. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll feel angry. Some days you'll feel empty. That's normal. Winners act anyway, because they understand this truth. Discipline carries you when motivation quits. Say it again. Discipline carries you when motivation quits. Now listen closely. It's not about willpower, it's about systems. Willpower is limited. Systems are automatic. Willpower runs out. Systems run on schedule. That's the difference. It's not about being strong, it's about being structured. Say it with me. It's not about willpower, it's about discipline. Again, it's not about willpower, it's about discipline. So what do? You build systems. You wake up at the same time every day, no negotiation. You train at the same time, no excuses. You work at the same time, no debate. You turn discipline into default. That's how winners think. They remove choice. When something is a rule, you don't argue with it. You just follow it. That's the key. Stop asking yourself, do I feel like it? Start asking, is it time? That's the shift. Time doesn't care how you feel, neither should you. You have a choice, obey your clock or obey your comfort. Comfort will destroy you, discipline will save you. Here's another truth. Motivation comes after action, not before. You don't get motivated, then work. You work, then motivation follows. Progress creates motivation. Movement creates energy. Say it again, movement creates energy. Sitting creates weakness. Action creates strength. So if you feel unmotivated right now, good, that's your test. That's your moment, that's when discipline matters most. Because anyone can work when they feel good. Winners work when they feel bad, that's the difference. Let me give you a challenge. For the next 7 days, wake up at the same time. No snooze, do one hard thing daily. Train, study, build, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's how discipline grows, like a muscle. Use it or lose it. Understand this. Your future self is watching you. Every excuse you make today, your future pays for tomorrow. You have a choice. Sacrifice now or suffer later. That's the key. People say, I'm waiting for motivation. Translation, I'm afraid of discomfort. But growth lives in discomfort. Success is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. Comfort is the enemy. Say it again. Comfort is the enemy. Comfort makes you soft. Discipline makes you sharp. Which one do you choose? Stop lying to yourself. You don't lack motivation. You lack structure. You don't need another video. You need a schedule. You don't need inspiration. You need consistency. That's the truth. Build your system, write it down, what time you wake up, what time you work, what time you train, what time you learn, follow it every day, no drama, no emotion, just execution, because feelings change but systems stay. Say it again. Feelings don't control winners. Systems do. One more time. Feelings don't control winners. Systems do. You don't need their permission. You don't need applause. You don't need motivation. You need discipline, quiet discipline. The kind nobody sees, the kind nobody claps for, but one day results will speak. You learn to stop talking. Now you learn to stop waiting, because motivation is a trap, discipline is freedom. You mastered the engine, now it's time to control the direction. Because even disciplined people can get lost if they seek approval, and that's deadly. Chapter 3, The Silent Cost of Seeking Validation. Every time you seek approval, you give away your power. That's not opinion, that's fact. The moment you look to others to confirm your worth, you become controlled. Controlled by likes, by comments, by reactions. You stop living for progress. You start living for applause, and applause is empty. Say it. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. Again, validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. That's the key. Look around. Everyone is chasing attention, posting their workouts, posting their goals, posting their struggles, waiting for hearts, waiting for comments, waiting for praise. That's not confidence. That's insecurity in disguise. Strong people don't beg for attention. They build in silence. Weak people perform. Winners produce. You have a choice. Perform for approval or work for results. That's the key. Social media has trained you to crave validation. Every like is a hit. Every comment is a reward. Your brain gets addicted. You start asking, how many people saw this? Did they like it? Did they approve? You stop asking, did I improve? Did I grow? Did I move forward? That's the shift. Empty applause versus real progress. Claps don't change your life. Work does. Say it again. Claps don't change your life. Work does. Let me be blunt. Likes won't pay your bills. Comments won't build your body. Views won't change your mindset. Only discipline will. But discipline is lonely. No one sees it. No one celebrates it. That's why most people avoid it. They want recognition, not results. But recognition is temporary. Results are permanent. You have a choice, temporary praise or permanent progress. That's the key. Every time you seek approval, you delay your growth. Why? Because now your actions depend on reactions. You stop doing what's right. You start doing what looks good. That's dangerous. You choose flashy over effective, easy over necessary. popular over powerful. That's how people stay average. Winners don't care what looks good, they care what works. Say it again. Winners don't care what looks good, they care what works. You don't need their permission. You don't need permission to improve. You don't need permission to change. You don't need permission to outgrow people. Stop asking, start becoming. That's the key. Here's the truth. Validation is a drug. The more you get, the more you need. First, you want 10 likes, then 100, then 1,000. It never ends. You become a slave to attention, and slaves don't win. Free people do. Discipline frees you, say it. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. Let me ask you something. If no one was watching, would you still work? If no one could see your progress, would you still train? If nobody would praise you, would you still show up? Your answer reveals your level. Real discipline doesn't need witnesses. That's the key. High-level people move differently. They don't post every move. They don't explain every step. They don't seek approval. They trust themselves. They don't need a crowd to feel powerful. They create their own standard. That's real confidence. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. Which one are you? You have a choice. Understand this. The world doesn't owe you praise. No one is coming to clap for your effort. You must clap for yourself. You must hold your own standard. You must push when nobody cares. That's discipline. Stop outsourcing your worth. Stop letting strangers decide your value. Your value is in your actions, your consistency, your progress, not in likes, not in comments, not in opinions. Opinions don't build empires. Work does. Say it again. Opinions don't build empires. Work does. Here's what you must do. For the next 30 days, post less, explain less, show less, work more, train quietly, build privately, improve silently, no announcements, no updates, no progress posts, just execution. That's how you regain power. You have a choice. Feed your ego or feed your future. Ego wants attention. Future wants discipline. That's the battle. Which one wins? Most people want to look successful. Few people want to become successful. Big difference. Looking successful requires validation. Becoming successful requires discipline. One is loud, one is silent, one is fake, one is real. You choose. Stop telling people what you're doing. Let them see it later. Shock them with results. That's power. Here's another truth. People who need validation can't handle isolation, but isolation is where growth happens. When you're alone, you find out who you really are. No audience, no masks, no performance, just you and your discipline. That's where leaders are born. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their support. Support yourself. Push yourself. Discipline yourself. That's the key. Say it again. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. One more time. Validation makes you weak. Discipline makes you free. The moment you stop chasing approval, you start building power. You stop caring what they think. You start caring what you do. That's growth. That's maturity. That's strength. People will call you distant. They'll say you changed. Good, you did. You stopped performing. You started progressing. That scares them because your discipline exposes their excuses. Let it. Remember this. No one claps for the grind. They clap for the result. So grind anyway. Quietly, relentlessly, you mastered silence. You built discipline. Now remove the need for applause, because seeking validation will slow you down and you don't have time for slow. You're building something big, and big things require focus. Now that you've taken your power back, let's talk about what happens when nobody cares about your journey, because that's where most people quit. Chapter 4, Build when nobody cares. This is the phase that breaks most people. When nobody is watching. When nobody is clapping. When nobody believes. This is where dreams die, not because they were impossible, but because they were invisible. You have a choice. Quit because no one cares or build because you care. That's the key. The hardest phase of any journey is the beginning. No results, no audience, no momentum, just effort. And effort without reward feels pointless. That's why most people quit here. They don't see progress, they don't get praise, they don't feel important, so they stop. But winners understand something different. Invisible work creates visible success. Say it again. Invisible work creates visible success. Look at failed businesses. They didn't fail because the idea was bad. They failed because the owner quit too early. No customers yet, no profit yet, no recognition yet, so they give up. They never reached momentum. Momentum is slow at first. It feels stuck. It feels dead, but momentum is built, brick by brick, day by day. You quit before it shows. That's the mistake. Nobody sees the early mornings. Nobody sees the late nights. Nobody sees the sacrifices. They only see the success later. But they don't see the years of silence. That's the price. You don't need their permission. You don't need their support. You don't need their belief. You need discipline. Let me tell you the truth. When nobody cares, that's when it matters most. That's when your character is tested. Are you serious or just excited? Are you committed or just curious? Because curiosity fades, commitment stays. You have a choice. Stay when it's lonely or leave when it's quiet. That's the key. Most people want instant validation. They want fast results, quick wins, immediate feedback, but real success is slow. Slow growth, slow progress, slow momentum, and slow kills weak mindsets. Because weak minds want speed, strong minds want substance. Here's the truth. If you can work when nobody cares, you can win when everybody watches. But if you need an audience to move, you'll never move far, say it. Invisible work creates visible success. Again, invisible work creates visible success. You're building in the dark right now, no likes, no comments, no applause. Good, that's your advantage, because nobody is distracting you. Nobody is competing with you. Nobody is copying you. You're free to build, free to grow, free to become dangerous. You don't need their permission. You don't need encouragement. Encouragement is nice, but discipline is necessary. Encouragement fades, discipline remains. That's the Let me be blunt, nobody owes you attention. Nobody owes you belief. Nobody owes you support. You earn attention by showing results, not promises, not effort, results. So stop complaining that nobody cares. Make them care by becoming undeniable. This phase feels boring. Same routine, same work, same grind, no excitement, but boring is powerful. Boring builds champions because boring means consistent. And consistency wins. Say it again, consistency wins. Here's what you must do. Stop checking for reactions. Stop waiting for praise. Stop measuring progress by attention. Measure by effort. Did you show up? Did you improve? Did you stay disciplined? That's success. You have a choice. Seek attention or build power. Attention is noisy. Power is silent. Attention fades. Power lasts. That's the difference. Let me give you a real example. Every successful business starts empty. No customers, no sales, no recognition. The owner works alone. Posting content nobody watches. Building products nobody buys. Marketing to silence. This is the danger zone. This is where 90% quit. They think this isn't working. But it is working. They just can't see it yet. That's the mistake. Momentum is invisible at first. Just like going to the gym. First week, nothing changes. Second week, still nothing. Third week, you feel weak. You think, why am I doing this? But you keep going. One day, you look in the mirror. You see it. That's momentum. But it was building the whole time. You just couldn't see it. That's life. You have a choice. Trust the process or quit early. That's the key. Stop asking, where are the results? Start asking, did I do the work? Results are delayed. Work is immediate. Control what you can control, your actions, not the outcome. Here's another truth. When nobody cares, you get to build in peace. No pressure, no expectations. Use this time, develop skills, fix weaknesses, create systems. Because once people start watching, pressure comes. Use silence wisely. Say it again, invisible work creates visible success. Again, invisible work creates visible success. Tattoo it in your mind. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. Applause comes later. Work comes now. Most people want credit before they deserve it. They want respect before they earn it. That's entitlement. Winners earn everything. They grind first. They shine later. You're in the shadows now. Good champions are forged in shadows. Nobody sees the training. They only see the trophy. But the trophy was built in silence. So here's your mission. For the next 30 days, work without posting, train without showing, build without explaining, no updates, no announcements, no validation, just discipline. You have a choice. Quit because it's quiet or rise because it's quiet. Quiet is your advantage. Use it. Understand this. The phase where nobody cares is the phase that decides everything. If you survive this, you win. If you quit here, you lose. Simple. Say it one last time. Invisible work creates visible success. You learned to stop talking, you built discipline, you stopped seeking validation. Now you're learning to work in silence. That's power. But there's another level, because your future isn't decided by motivation or attention, it's decided by your habits, your daily routine, your systems. And that's what we talk about next. Chapter 5, Your routine is your future, your dreams don't decide your destiny. Your habits do. Say it again. Your habits decide your destiny, not your motivation, not your intentions, not what you want to become. What you do every day decides who you become. That's the truth. You have a choice. Keep your current routine or change your future. That's the key. People love dreaming. They say, one day I'll be successful. One day I'll be fit. One day I'll be rich. But one day never comes. Because they don't change today, dreams without discipline are fantasies. It's not about dreaming big, it's about acting small every day. Say it, small actions every day, no excuses. Again, small actions every day, no excuses. Here's the reality. 30 minutes daily beats 5 hours once a week. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can go hard once. Winners show up daily. That's the difference. You don't build a body with one workout. You don't build wealth with one hustle. You don't build discipline with one good day. You build it with repetition, daily. Let me break it down. 30 minutes of reading daily equals 182 hours per year. 30 minutes of training daily equals 182 workouts per year. 30 minutes of skill building daily makes you elite. But people don't want small steps. They want big moves. They want transformation overnight. That's weakness. Strong minds respect process. You have a choice. Chase shortcuts or build systems. That's the key. Your routine is a mirror. It shows who you really are, not what you say, not what you post, what you repeat. If you wake up late every day, you are lazy. If you skip workouts, you lack discipline. If you waste hours scrolling, you lack focus. Harsh, good, truth hurts, and truth changes you. It's not about talent, it's about habits. Say it. It's not about talent, it's about discipline. Again, it's not about talent, it's about discipline. Talent is useless without routine. Potential means nothing without consistency. Look at successful people. They wake up early. They train, they work, they learn, same schedule every day. They don't guess, they don't improvise, they follow their routine like religion. Because routine builds identity. You don't try to be disciplined. You become disciplined by repetition. You don't need their permission. You don't need permission to wake up earlier. You don't need permission to work harder. You don't need permission to change your routine. Stop waiting. Start doing. That's the key. Let me ask you something. What do you do in the first hour of your day? Check your phone, scroll social media, watch videos. That hour decides your mindset. Start distracted. Stay distracted. Start disciplined. Stay disciplined. Your morning controls your life. Fix it. Here's what you must do. Create a simple routine, not perfect, not complicated. Simple. Wake up at the same time. Train or move your body. Work on your goal. Learn something every day. No drama. No excuses. You have a choice. Follow your routine or follow your comfort. Comfort will keep you broke. Comfort will keep you weak. Discipline will change your life. That's the key. People say, I don't have time. Lie, you have time, you waste it. You waste it scrolling. You waste it watching nonsense. You waste it sleeping extra. Time is not your problem. Discipline is, say it again, small actions every day, no excuses. That's the formula. Small actions, not heroic efforts, not extreme changes. Small actions done daily. Here's the truth. Your routine will either build you or destroy you. Every habit is a vote for strength or weakness, a vote for focus or distraction, a vote for growth or decay. You choose. Let me be blunt. If your routine is trash, your future will be trash. You don't rise above habits. You fall to them. That's the key. Most people wait for motivation, but discipline doesn't wait. Discipline schedules. You wake up because it's time. You train because it's time. You work because it's time. No emotion, just execution. You don't need their permission. You don't need encouragement. Encouragement is temporary. Routine is permanent. Build your routine like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's a challenge. For the next 14 days, wake up same time. No snooze. Work on your goal for 30 minutes. No skipping, no excuses, even when tired, even when bored, especially then. That's discipline. People overestimate what they can do in a day. and underestimate what they can do in a year. Daily actions compound, like interest. Small efforts stack up, and one day, boom, results. But only if you stay consistent. Say it again, small actions, every day, no excuses. Burn it in your mind. You have a choice. Be average with random habits, or be elite with structured routine. Elite people live on schedule. Stop saying, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie. You start now, right now. Change one habit today. Go to bed earlier. Wake up earlier, train today, read today. Now, remember this, your routine is your future self in action. Every day you are writing your future with your habits. Write wisely. You mastered silence. You built discipline. You stopped seeking validation. You learn to work when nobody cares. Now you're building systems. This is power, but there's another level, because discipline without self-control will collapse. You must learn to control yourself, your urges, your impulses, your distractions. That's next. In Chapter 6, Master Self-Control like a weapon. If you can't control yourself, someone else will. Say it. Control yourself or someone else will. Again, control yourself or someone else will. That's the rule. Life rewards the disciplined and punishes the impulsive. You have a choice. Control your actions or let your urges control you. That's the key. Winners can say no. No to junk food, no to distractions, no to toxic people, no to comfort. Losers say yes to everything, yes to pleasure. Yes to laziness, yes to excuses, and every yes to weakness is a no to your future. Remember that self-control is power, not muscles, not money, not status. Power starts in your mind. If you can't control your thoughts, you can't control your life. That's the truth. Look at Navy SEALs. They don't start with push-ups. They start with the mind. They train discipline first. Pain tolerance, focus, mental strength, because a weak mind breaks under pressure. A strong mind stays calm. That's why they win. Mind first, body second. Life is the same. You don't need their permission. You don't need permission to say no. No to parties, no to bad habits, no to distractions. People will get offended. Good, your growth will make them uncomfortable. Let it. Here's the truth. Discipline isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of what destroys you. Less junk food, less scrolling, less gossip, less wasting time. That's power. You have a choice. Short-term pleasure or long-term progress. Comfort now or success later. That's the battle every day. Self-control is a muscle. Use it or lose it. The more you resist urges, the stronger you get. The more you give in, the weaker you become. Simple. Let me be blunt. If you can't control your mouth, you'll say stupid things. If you can't control your appetite, you'll destroy your body. If you can't control your emotions, you'll ruin relationships. Control starts small. Small wins. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Say it. It's not about feelings. It's about discipline. Again, it's not about feelings. It's about discipline. People say, I deserve this. No, you earn everything. Comfort is earned. Pleasure is earned after work, not before. Here's a powerful rule. Delay gratification. Don't eat first. Work first. Don't relax first. Build first. Reward yourself after you earn it. That's how winners think. You don't need their permission. You don't need approval. You need control. Control your sleep. Control your food. Control your focus. Control your circle, because your environment controls you. If you stay around lazy people, you'll become lazy. If you stay around disciplined people, you'll level up. Choose wisely. Say it again. Control yourself or someone else will. Society wants you weak, distracted, addicted. Why? Because weak people are easy to control. Strong minds are dangerous. Be dangerous. Here S what you must do. Remove temptations. Delete useless apps. Stop buying junk food. Limit TV. Block distractions. Don't rely on willpower. Change your environment. That's the key. You have a choice. Make it easy to fail or make it easy to win. If junk food is in your house, you'll eat it. If distractions are everywhere, you'll waste time. Fix your environment. Self-control isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware of triggers, aware of patterns, aware of weakness. When you feel lazy, move. When you feel distracted, focus. When you feel emotional, pause. Don't react. Respond. Most people react. They feel tired, so they quit. They feel angry, so they explode. They feel bored, so they scroll. That's weakness. Strong people pause, they think, they choose. You have a choice, react or respond. That's the key. Here's another truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your discipline. Say it again, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your discipline. Control your mornings. Win the morning, win the day. Wake up early. Move your body, focus your mind. No phone, start strong, control your evenings, go to bed on time, stop scrolling, plan tomorrow, winners prepare, losers procrastinate. Let me challenge you. For the next 7 days, say no to one bad habit, just one: sugar, social media, late nights, negative people. Say no, build strength. You'll feel uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is the training ground. Champions are built in discomfort. Remember this. You don't need their permission, you don't need validation, you need self-respect. And self-respect comes from discipline, keeping promises to yourself. Every time you quit early, you lose trust in yourself. Every time you finish strong, you gain confidence. Build trust with yourself, that's real power. Say it again, control yourself or someone else will. Burn it in your mind. You mastered silence, you built discipline, you stopped seeking validation. You learned to work unseen, you built routines, now you're controlling yourself. That's dangerous. But discipline without hard work means nothing. Control is useless without effort. So now it's time to outwork everyone, quietly, relentlessly. Chapter 7: Outwork everyone quietly. Let them party, let them sleep, let them waste time. You build, that's the difference. Say it. While they relax, you rise. Again, while they relax, you rise. That's the rule. Most people want balance. They want comfort, they want fun, they want easy. Winners want results. Results require sacrifice. You have a choice. Comfort now or dominance later. That's the key. Let me tell you about Kobe Bryant. He woke up at 4 a.m. not because he loved mornings, not because it was fun, because it gave him an edge. While others slept, he trained. While others relaxed, he worked. And when game time came, he was ready. That's what quiet work looks like. No cameras, no announcements, no excuses, just grind. Everyone sees the trophies. Nobody sees the early mornings. Everyone sees the highlights. Nobody sees the lonely workouts. That's life. Success is loud. Preparation is silent. You don't need their permission. You don't need to explain why you're working late. You don't need to justify why you're skipping parties. Your future will explain it. Here's the truth. Average people rest when they're tired. Winners rest when they're done. Big difference. You don't stop because you're tired. You stop because the work is complete. That's discipline. Say it again. While they relax, you rise. Burn it into your mind. Most people follow the crowd. Friday night, they go out. Weekend, they sleep in. Free time, they waste it. You don't, you use it to train, to study, to build. That's how you separate yourself. You have a choice. Follow the crowd or lead yourself. That's the key. Let me be blunt. You can't live like everyone else and expect to be better than them. You can't copy their habits and beat them. You must do what they won't. Work when they sleep. Train when they relax. Study when they scroll. It's not about talent, say it. It's not about talent, it's about discipline. Again, it's not about talent, it's about discipline. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work, and most people don't work. Here's another truth. You don't need motivation, you need standards. Your standard says, I show up no matter what. Rain, pain, bad mood, doesn't matter, you show up. Most people are emotional, they work when they feel good. Winners are logical, they work because it's scheduled. Feelings don't control winners, say it. Feelings don't control winners. Quiet work is powerful. No one sees you coming. No one prepares for you. They underestimate you. Good, surprise them, shock them with results. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them think you're doing too much. One day they'll ask how and you'll smile because they didn't see the sacrifice. You have a choice. Chase approval or chase progress. That's the key. Outworking people doesn't mean burning out. It means using time better. Wake up earlier, cut distractions, use weekends. You don't need more time, you need better discipline. Stop saying, I'm busy. Busy doing what? Scrolling, watching, complaining. Busy doesn't mean productive. Work matters, effort matters. Here's what you must do. Create a work block every day, 1 hour, no phone, no distractions, just focus on your goal. That's your edge. You don't need their permission. You don't need encouragement. Encouragement is weak. Discipline is strong. Let me challenge you. For the next 14 days, wake up 1 hour earlier. Use that hour for your future, training, studying, building, no excuses, you'll feel tired. Good, that means you're growing. Growth is uncomfortable. Comfort makes you average. Say it again. While they relax, you rise. Most people wait for opportunity. Winners create it by working when others don't. Here's the truth. Nobody remembers who rested. They remember who dominated. Which one will you be? You have a choice. Stop negotiating with your weakness. Weakness wants sleep. Weakness wants comfort. Weakness wants easy. Discipline wants growth. Feed discipline. Starve weakness. You don't need their permission. You don't need validation. Your results will validate you. Every hour you waste today, you'll pay for tomorrow. Every hour you invest today, you'll thank yourself later. Choose wisely. Outworking people doesn't mean bragging. It means staying silent. No posts, no updates, just work. Here's another truth. The grind is lonely, you'll miss parties, you'll miss movies, you'll miss comfort, but you'll gain power, you'll gain confidence, you'll gain freedom. Say it again. While they relax, you rise. One more time. While they relax, you rise. You mastered silence. You built discipline. You stopped seeking validation. You learned to work unseen. You built routines. You mastered self-control. Now you're outworking everyone. That's dangerous. But there's a price because growth hurts, progress hurts, and most people run from pain. You won't, because pain is the price of power. Chapter 8, Pain is the price of power. Listen closely. Growth hurts, comfort destroys. Every time you take the easy route, you shrink. Every time you face difficulty, you expand. You have a choice. Choose comfort or choose power. That's the key. Pain is inevitable. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the currency. Say it. Pain is payment. Pay the price. Again, pain is payment. Pay the price. That's how progress works. Look at your body. Muscles don't grow during rest. They grow when they tear. The soreness you feel, that's payment. The sweat, the struggle, the strain, that's progress being deposited. Pain is proof you're moving forward. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid challenges. They chase convenience. They choose soft over strong, and what happens? They stay average. That's the cost of comfort. You have a choice. Stay soft or embrace discomfort. That's the key. Pain is temporary. Power is permanent. Feel it now, enjoy it later. Say it again. Pain is payment. Pay the price. Look at successful people. They aren't exceptional because they avoid pain. They're exceptional because they endure it, they embrace it, they seek it, they train with it. Pain becomes their friend, discomfort becomes their teacher. Every time you struggle, you get stronger. Every time you resist quitting, you grow. Every time you face your fear, you expand. That's the rule. Let me break it down. Life is designed to test you. Pain is the measurement. You can run and stay small, or you can face it and rise. You have a choice. That's the key. Pain is selective. It chooses those who fight. It avoids those who surrender. Winners pay willingly. Losers try to escape. Which one are you? Muscle, mind, skill, they all follow the same law. Nothing grows without strain. Nothing improves without effort. Nothing elevates without resistance. Pain is the trigger. Discipline is the process. Here's what most people don't get. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation. Every burn, every ache, every failure prepares you for more. Say it again. Pain is payment. Pay the price. You don't need their permission. You don't need approval. You don't need encouragement. You need endurance. You need grit. You need discipline. Because nobody suffers for you. Let me give you an example. If you want to get strong, you lift heavy. It hurts. Your body protests. Your mind resists. You could stop, or you could push further. Those who push further win. Those who quit stay weak. Pain separates talkers from doers. It separates dreamers from achievers. It separates average from elite. Think about this. The comfort zone is silent, it's easy, it's painless, but silence produces nothing. Nothing grows in comfort, nothing evolves. You have a choice. Sit and complain or struggle and rise. That's the key. Pain tests your limits. It shows you who you really are. It exposes excuses. It reveals weakness. Most people run, winners stay. Here's the truth. The first 5 minutes of a workout hurt. The first week of discipline hurts. The first month of change hurts, but every step after builds resilience, builds strength, builds power. Pain is selective. It doesn't last forever. It leaves behind rewards. Sweat becomes muscle. Discipline becomes freedom. Struggle becomes growth. Say it again. Pain is payment. Pay the price. You will face discomfort. People will doubt you. Life will test you, your body and mind will rebel. Good, that's your indicator, that's your opportunity. That's your training ground. Most people quit. They see the struggle and flee. You will pay the price. You will endure the discomfort. You will rise above because you understand the law. Let me be blunt. Without pain, there's no transformation. Without struggle, there's no evolution. Without challenge, there's no greatness. You have a choice. Take the easy path and stay average, or pay the price and claim power. That's the key. Pain is inevitable. Discipline is optional. Pain is unavoidable. Excuses are optional. Pain is the teacher. Action is mandatory. Hear what to do next. Seek discomfort daily. Lift heavier. Run farther. Focus longer. Say no more. Endure more. Grow in the areas others avoid. That's where power lives. Remember this. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your ally. Pain is your payment. And payment is necessary if you want progress. Say it one more time. Pain is payment. Pay the price. You mastered silence. You built discipline. You stopped seeking validation. You learned to work unseen. You built routines. You controlled yourself. You outworked everyone. Now you embrace pain because pain guarantees growth. Pain guarantees transformation. Pain guarantees power. And if you're willing to pay the price, you will become unstoppable. Next, we will talk about one final skill, because power alone isn't enough. You need focus, you need clarity, you need vision. Chapter 9, Become Unrecognizable. Listen closely. The person you were yesterday doesn't belong in your future. Your old self is weak. Complacent, comfort-driven. If you want to level up, you must leave them behind. You have a choice. Stay the same or evolve. That's the key. Evolution is lonely. Your old friends won't understand you. They will question your choices. They will get uncomfortable. Why? Because you're no longer the same. Your energy is different. Your focus is different. Your ambition is different. This is natural and it's necessary. Say it. Evolution looks like isolation. Again, evolution looks like isolation. Most people fear change. They cling to old routines, old habits, old people, but you can't grow surrounded by old versions of yourself. Growth requires separation. Growth requires sacrifice. Growth requires leaving comfort behind. You have a choice. Stay comfortable or become unrecognizable. That's the key. Here's the truth. When you level up, people notice. Some will admire, some will envy, some will push back. Your success makes them uncomfortable. Your discipline makes them insecure. Your focus makes them irrelevant. That's normal. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Let's be real. People often want you to stay the same. They want the old version, the version that complained, the version that played small, the version they could control. Don't give it to them. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. Your evolution is your responsibility. Your future is yours to create. Think about this. The most powerful people in history didn't ask anyone to understand them. They didn't wait for acceptance. They focused on growth. They embraced discomfort. They became unrecognizable. And then the world had no choice but to notice. Isolation is temporary. Evolution is permanent. The loneliness you feel now is the price of power. The awkwardness you face is the cost of transformation. Every sacrifice you make separates you from the old version of yourself. Every new skill you master makes the familiar uncomfortable. And that's exactly how it should be. You have a choice. Conform to the expectations of others or exceed your own expectations. That's the key. Here's the hard truth. When you grow, some people leave, not because you did something wrong, not because you were mean, not because you failed, because you changed, because you evolved, because you became dangerous to their comfort zone. This is natural. This is progress. This is power. Let me break it down. If you want to become unrecognizable, you must make decisions daily that your old self would avoid. Wake up earlier. Train harder, focus deeper. Read more, sacrifice pleasure, delay gratification. Every action that elevates you isolates you from your old environment. That's the process. It's not about being cruel, it's about being committed. It's not about abandoning friends, it's about abandoning mediocrity. You don't need to explain yourself, you don't need to apologize, you don't need permission. You evolve because you choose to. Say it again. Evolution looks like isolation. This is the law of growth. The law of mastery, the law of success. Those unwilling to feel awkward, to feel lonely, to feel misunderstood will never grow. Those who endure, those who embrace it, will become unstoppable. Here's the challenge. Every day ask yourself, am I living for approval or am I living for evolution? If it's approval, you're stuck. If it's evolution, you're dangerous. You have a choice, comfort or growth, familiarity or transformation. That's the key. Let me give you a real-world example. Entrepreneurs, athletes, artists all have one thing in common: they become unrecognizable. They sacrifice old habits, they isolate themselves from distractions, they endure criticism, they tolerate discomfort. And when the world finally understands it's too late, they're already winning. This is the paradox. You will lose people, and that's good. You will feel lonely, and that's necessary. You will face discomfort, and that's inevitable. Because every level of success requires you to become a new person, and the new person is unrecognizable to those who cling to the old you. You have a choice: stay relatable or become exceptional, stay liked or become respected, stay comfortable or become unstoppable. That's the key. Here's what to do now. Identify habits that belong to your old self. Eliminate what holds you back. Commit to actions that push you forward. Accept that people may leave. Embrace the isolation. It's proof you're evolving. Do this daily, do this relentlessly, do this without hesitation. Your growth will make people uncomfortable. That's natural, that's necessary, that's power. Every sacrifice you make, every hour you invest, every uncomfortable choice creates a new you. Say it one last time: evolution looks like isolation. Remember this: the future you desire is impossible with your old self. Your comfort will hold you back. Your old environment will slow you down. Your old mindset will betray you. Become unrecognizable, level up, and the world will have no choice but to follow your lead. You mastered silence, you built discipline, you stopped seeking validation, you learned to work unseen, you built routines, you controlled yourself, you outworked everyone, you embraced pain. Now it's time to become unrecognizable. Because the next step, the final step, is where mastery meets legacy. Chapter 10: Let results speak. Listen carefully. You are done explaining. You are done justifying. You are done talking about what you're going to do. It's time to act. It's time to move. It's time to produce. You have a choice: talk endlessly or prove your worth. That's the key. Most people spend their lives explaining. I'm working on it. I'll get there. Just wait and see. Excuses, promises, empty words. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass. Time slips away. Results don't wait for your excuses. They don't care about your explanations. They only respond to action. Say it. Success doesn't talk, it shows. Again, success doesn't talk, it shows. Look at the richest people in the world. They don't post every move on social media. They don't announce their strategies. They don't seek approval or validation. They execute, they strategize, they dominate quietly. And then the world notices. That's power, that's discipline, that's self-control. You don't need permission, you don't need applause, you don't need recognition. You need results. That's the only currency that matters. Think about it. Every time you explain yourself, you waste energy. Energy that could build your skills, energy that could improve your craft, energy that could advance your goals. Stop explaining, start executing. Let results do the talking. Here's the reality: words are cheap, actions are expensive. Anyone can say they're disciplined, anyone can claim they're productive, anyone can talk about their dreams. Few actually do it. Few actually show up every day. Few actually deliver results. You want to be one of them? Then act. Relentlessly, act quietly, act with discipline. Success doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't negotiate, it doesn't wait for approval. You have a choice: explain or execute. That's the key. Look at athletes, entrepreneurs, creators. They don't waste time talking. They show up early. They train harder, they work longer, they learn more, they invest better. And the results speak louder than any post, any excuse, any claim. You must do the same. Here's the first rule: stop seeking validation. Stop proving yourself to others. Stop announcing plans. Instead, work, build, deliver, and let the results speak. Say it again: success doesn't talk, it shows. Most people measure progress by applause, likes, comments, praise, recognition. Winners measure progress by results. Progress that's visible, progress that moves the needle, progress that transforms lives. Here's the second rule: every action must count. Every decision must produce impact. Every hour invested must compound. No wasted energy. No meaningless work, no excuses. That's the path to results. You have a choice. Talk about what you might do or show what you can do. That's the key. Let's be blunt. People will doubt you. People will underestimate you. People will criticize you. Good. Because they don't see the work you're doing in silence. Because they don't see the preparation. Because they don't see the discipline. And that's your advantage. Remember this: results don't negotiate. Results don't lie. Results don't wait. If you deliver results, you gain respect, you gain influence, you gain power. No talking required. Here's what to do now: stop posting about what you're planning, stop justifying your actions to others, stop waiting for approval. Focus on executing your plan, track results relentlessly. Let results become your voice. Results are proof of discipline. Results are proof of sacrifice. Results are proof of self-control. Results are proof of evolution. You've done the work, you've mastered silence, you've built discipline, you've controlled yourself, you've endured pain, you've outworked everyone, you've embraced isolation to evolve. Now it's time to let the world see. Stop explaining, start proving, stop talking, start showing. Every action counts, every small win compounds, every disciplined choice builds your legacy. And when your results arrive, people will understand, not before. You have a choice: seek validation or build results. That's the key. Here's the final truth: your words are irrelevant, your excuses are irrelevant, your promises are irrelevant. Your results are all that matters. Deliver them, let them speak, and the world will listen. Say it one last time: success doesn't talk, it shows. You mastered silence, you built discipline, you stopped seeking validation. You learned to work unseen, you built routines, you controlled yourself, you outworked everyone, you embraced pain, you became unrecognizable. And now, you let results speak. This is how champions operate. This is how leaders dominate. This is how winners create legacies. Stop talking, start showing. The world is waiting. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You need discipline. Quiet discipline, relentless discipline, because when you master yourself, you control your future. When you stay silent, your actions become loud. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them ignore you. Stay focused. Stay hungry. Stay invisible, and one day they won't recognize you. Your challenge starts now. No announcements, no posts, no excuses, just work. Close this video, execute in silence, and let your success make the noise.